Hello followers of the Did You Know channel. Lake of Skeletons, Devil's Cemetery, the most mysterious forests in the world, and more. In this episode we will learn about scientifically impossible places. Let's go. Devil's Cemetery. In 1908, the population of the Russian Empire witnessed the fall of the Tunguska meteorite. Many articles were devoted to this topic, but another interesting discovery was passed on by the media. 400 kilometers south of the point of impact, the so-called Devil's Cemetery was found. It was a barren area where nothing grows. If animals enter by mistake, they will immediately get sick, and people may faint or get sick. You must admit that since the meteor fall occurred in the same year, these places must be connected, and against this background, the main theory about this cemetery is the fall of another smaller UFO on our planet. It's polluted, according to the locals who were nearby at the time of the formation of Devil's Tomb in 1908. A shell-like crater appeared in the woods. Black smoke billowed from it, and there was an incredible heat in the place. But why would living beings feel anxious when approaching such a place? According to the information received by the instruments, there is no radiation, and the temperature is not abnormally high. It is as if something unfamiliar to science is making scientists confuse guesses. Deep Sleep Village. While some people are afraid to pass through an area because they worry about their health, people in Kazakhstan are afraid to visit the village of Kalachi, which became infamous for the mass disease that struck villagers in March 2013. Since then, scientists have been trying to understand why people of different ages sleep in this place. The village for periods ranging from 2 days to several weeks. Once the government learned of the tragedy, launched a mass resettlement program, but many did not want to leave. At least one thing is good. People live there where they sincerely want and share useful information and different results with scientists. Just imagine, nothing out of the ordinary happens. It's another day outside, and suddenly everyone, school children, salespeople, teachers, businessmen, everyone who finds himself on the street has slept for days at a time. Those who recovered more quickly than the rest speak of a kind of weakness. Of course, they did not remember how that happened, and the doctors recorded the last outbreak of the strange disease so far in January 2016, and the number of victims at that time exceeded 130 people. At first, the doctors did not see a problem. They thought it was mass poisoning or the result of the use of illegal substances, but this version was not confirmed. Then each victim was examined for various infections and viruses. Again, the new version was not confirmed. There were no inflammatory processes in the body or injuries in those who slept. And the other theory they tested is radon from uranium mines. The staff of the center came National Nuclear Force to Kazakhstan and drilled wells in the village and took water and soil samples. They thought that the answer would finally appear, but nothing appeared. If you think that through trial and error someone came close to the answer, you should know that it never happened. To this day, it is not. People have no idea what was happening and might still be happening in this village. Could it be strange experiences? Tell me your opinion in the comments. Cracks in the ocean. In the past year 2022, scientists encountered these unusual traces in a place at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. To some it looked like air intakes, and a theory was born that something was hidden under the ground. As you imagine, it did not lead to anything. Then the scientists thought that it was some kind of clues, but they could not say something sensible either. In the end, the best minds of the planet came to the conclusion that everything is connected with some inactive volcano located nearby. They say that it is preparing for a new eruption of such strength that it will make a hole in the ocean and form a picture like this, the matter. It's up to you to believe it or not, but personally I'd like to think it's just traces of sea creatures or normal currents and no catastrophe will happen. You have to admit that reading tea leaves about something unknown to science, about something underground, or at great depths is a dubious idea. It is better to think about helping scientists explain this tree. You can find it in Italy. It is not just one tree. It's two counting as one. It's the Casurso tree. The tree on top is called the mushat plant, and it's a non-parasitic plant that grows on another plant. Everything is fine, but these plants are usually small and don't grow to that size. Also, these trees magically don't suffer from nutritional problems at all. It continues to thrive and admire its majestic appearance. Due to a number of these factors, none of the scientists can provide a reasonable explanation for what is happening. I don't know about you, but I personally feel my blood flowing through my veins when I look at this lake and imagine that all of this is true. Skeleton Lake or Rupkund, a high mountain lake in the Himalayas in India, is not famous for its depth, as it does not exceed 2 meters, and it is a glacial lake located in mountains at an altitude of about 5 kilometers melt once a year. It is a natural lake. Recently, the process of melting began to attract not only biologists, but also ordinary tourists, because every year there are a variety of things or skeletons that cannot under any circumstances be there. For example, in this picture, the bottom of this mysterious reservoir and its banks are strewn with the bones of more than 500 human skeletons. This is, by the way, why the lake is called that. Detailed analysis of the remains showed that most of the bones belonged to men who lived from the 8th to 9th centuries. But when examining DNA samples, it was found that the bones belonged not only to tribes living nearby, but also to different ethnic groups that came to here at a strange frequency of about once or twice per 100 years, and some of them were from the Eastern Mediterranean, which means they couldn't come here, yet no virus or disease was reported around it every year as if it were the exact date. There are new details, and new corrections change the direction of history. What also changes direction, but only as a deception, is the magnetic hill located in India. There is not a single scientist in the world who can explain this phenomenon. To make it easier for you to understand what its secret is, I will give you an example. If you stop a car on the hill and remove it from the handbrake, it will start moving uphill. If you pour water on the road, it will also flow up the hill. I think every one of you is well aware that this is completely against the laws of physics. There are those who claim that even planes above this place gain height by chance. There are only 2 theories about what is happening. The mountain emits magnetic waves that attract cars, but it does not affect living beings. According to the second theory, it is just an optical illusion. The horizon is hidden behind the mountains where one feels that the road is upward, while in reality it warns, and this is what causes the phenomenon. It is up to you to choose which theories to believe. Devil's Kettle. The next mystery is located in the United States in the state of Minnesota. The waterfall is several meters high and consists of the Brule River, which is bizarrely divided into 2 streams. One of them is everything usual. Water flows as befits any ordinary waterfall. This is the basis, but the second stream is not as simple as it might be. It appears for a moment, as water falls from it into a stone well, and disappears into the bowels of the earth. Underground rivers are not a mysterious thing, and are often found in some areas, especially in places where caves and karst voids are spread. But any underground river has a beginning and an end, and in most cases you can find a way out the underground stream to the surface. In the case of this waterfall, cannot find the beginning and end of the river. It appears that the water is from the so-called Devil's Kettle, literally evaporating or running deep into the earth to supply fluids to the inhabitants of the underworld. Hoya Paseo. And this, according to many, is the most mysterious forest on our planet. I think even an ordinary person will immediately notice what is wrong here. At least the trees of the Hoya Paseo forest have a very strange appearance. According to witnesses, there are always strange sounds coming from somewhere that scare people and animals, and tourists talk about the strange silhouettes appear as if they are being watched while walking in the woods. And while many have captured interesting photos and videos of the strange activity, no convincing and generally accepted explanation has emerged that could reasonably shed light on the mystery. The only thing science has been able to figure out is that there were mysterious settlements in the area from about 7000 BC. Perhaps all of these strange activities are linked in one way or another to them, or perhaps nothing more than coincidence. And now I will tell you about the mysterious lights that appear in the Hasdalen Valley. This place is surrounded by small settlements with a population of 200 people. The locals are the ones who started talking about anomalies. This happened for the first time in 1981, when UFO specialists began examining the valley and the sky above it. The mystery it lies in the lights that appear in the heights. These lights themselves have no reason to form them. They appear out of nowhere and disappear anywhere, as observed in various places, from the roof of a house to an abandoned place or next to some buildings. Realizing that the time has come to solve this problem, UFO specialists have conducting as many as 3 missions, but none of them being successful. There was a sense that Mother Nature was simply deceiving people and not allowing them to reveal her secret. When the lights were visible, the instruments malfunctioned or picked up no signals at all and reported completely normal conditions. One time, the following happened. Scientists directed a laser beam at the sky towards a light and flashed it several times. The target light also flashed the same number of times in response to that. After that, the device stopped working. What could this mean? Mile Hole. The story of this place began in 1997 on a day when Bill Waters called a famous American radio station and told them about a strange hole near him. The man informed the world of interesting details and facts that he discovered himself and returned to the radio. Sometimes he was not able to know the depth of the hole, but he was sure that it was increasing. About 20 kilometers, this was discovered through a test, when the man lowered a very long fishing line. However, the strangest thing was not even the depth of the hole. Waters' neighbor threw his dog there because there was no place to bury him, but after a few days the dog magically appeared at the top. And it's okay if his body was lying there, but the dog wasn't dead. In front of Mel and his neighbor, there was exactly the same dog with an identical neck and spot on his back and color, and other stories he told that ancient music and ancestors' voices could be heard from the hole. Could it be some kind of portal through time or the other world? That's it. Tell me in the comments about the strangest place you've seen with your own eyes. Thanks for watching and see you later.